Howdy, name's Rain. It is 11:54 a.m. on this delightful July 24th Monday. It has been an easy day thus far, and got enough energy and wherewithal and time to be able to sit down and not have to worry about trying to scarf down my ham sandwich in record time. I'm going to turn the truck off, even though I need the air conditioning. Let me just crack the window a little bit on that side, a little bit on that side, just to be able to get the airflow in here, because Lord knows this thing is going to heat up very quickly. Um, it has been 7 years and a couple months since I created my YouTube channel, which used to be named Son of Celestia, I believe it used to be, because my mother's username has always been Celestia on every game that she plays. Every website that she's used, she's always been Celestia, and so my username has been Son of Celestia since I was about 13. But I changed it to Rainfall, I guess because I like rain. I don't know. I wanted to be self-made and decided to go with something that generally people don't like too much. People generally don't like it when it rains unless they're in agriculture or whatever. But myself, I've always enjoyed rain. I've always had a bit of an eye for precipitation and meteorology. It's been 500 videos as of this stream, and I don't even remember what most of them were, to be honest with you. Like from the beginning, I think I've mostly just live streamed everything ever since I had the capability to stream. Obviously, more recent times, shorts have been the way that I've gone, and where the vast majority of my subscribers have been accumulated from was through shorts, and so that is how I am sitting at, 1,400 and whatever number of subscribers it is now, 1,449, I think, and yet will still average about 2 viewers over the course of a stream, because short subscribers generally do not watch the long form content. But for those who have, for those who have been dropping into streams and commenting and having a grand old time, spending time with me, whether it's been for 7 minutes or the past 7 years, thank you for spending your time with me. The reason I created a YouTube channel was just because it was something I wanted to do because my mother had one, but over time it grew to be a way to meet fabulous people, and I've met a lot of fabulous people through this channel and through the videos that I've made. Um, Zendigo being an example of one. Friend of mine that I'm very happy I created the YouTube channel and was able to meet them through this. Uh, as far as what I intend to do with the next 500 videos, I'm not changing anything. I'm just going to keep streaming stupid crap. Um, Uploading anything that is premeditated, anything that is edited, is something that I have never really. I'm not smart enough or creative enough, or I guess bored enough to do that. It requires time and preparation and editing and an idea upon which to base a created video upon. I am not able to do that, really, to be able to get everything to line up. I am going to go ahead and crank up the truck again because, I mean, the screen shake is just going to have to happen. I hate it, but it's going to have to happen. It is too damn hot outside, 84 degrees right now in the shade, to say nothing of the humidity. That's unfortunate screen shake, but it's got to happen. I can't just sit down and come up with anything to make a video about, because one thing that I have really looked down upon is making cheap shit. Most of the videos that I've made, even so, have been cheap shit. The streams that I have shrimped being past tense of stream, there's no value to them, no purpose behind them, and nothing special about me that would make them be worthy. So it offers no utility, it offers no value. None of the things that I have created have ever offered any value. It's just something that I've done more for myself than for anyone else. not done anything to benefit a specific community or a specific interest. Like, you've got your tutorial channels, you've got your facts and wowzers, what is this magnificent thing that we're learning today channels, and that's obviously not me. I don't know shit that's actually valuable to anyone, and I don't know how to do shit that's actually valuable to anyone besides the stuff out here that I can't even record legally. So there's really nothing that I could offer besides just stupid crap, which I've done in abundance in my shorts and whatnot, but that offers really no value either. So basically what I'm saying is the next 500 videos are going to be me continuing to fan service myself, in that I'm just making stuff because, or streaming stuff, pooping out shorts, because that is what I enjoy doing, and it's something for me to look forward to at the end of the day. Because, I mean, I get done with a 10 to 12 hour shift and trudge home, and I've got to do something to keep me awake. I've got to do anything to just keep from going to bed immediately, because the earlier you go to bed, the earlier you wind up waking up. And if I get home at 5 and I don't occupy my mind and my hands and my time somehow, I'm going to end up curling up in bed, whether I want to or not. I'll just get more and more and more tired until I'm like, I'm going to fall asleep whether I'm in the bed or I'm not. And I'd rather fall asleep in the bed, because goodness knows I don't want to wake up with that neck ache. I've tried it before. I've tried just being defiant and never going to bed. Not only did it give me a massive headache, you wouldn't believe that, like, just forcibly, I don't like that it's shaking. You would not believe, but it's true, that if you're really, really, really tired, you want to go to bed, and you can't think about anything else except that bed, and you say, nope, not doing it, I'm going to sit right here in this chair. Not only will it give you a big stress headache because you want to go to bed, but you're trying to not, you will fall asleep, at least I will fall asleep with a headache no matter where I am. And so, got to do something, got to occupy the mind, got to occupy the hands, got to fill the time up somehow. And if I don't do that, I'll wind up in bed just to avoid the headache, and then wake up at midnight. If I go to bed at 6, I'm up at midnight, stuck awake. Can't go back to sleep. Couldn't do it if I tried. So now I got to do something. The past couple times that's happened, that's been to get on Rainbow Six, or most recently this morning, Sea of Thieves. And it's kind of the role that YouTube has taken, is that it gives me a way to fill the time. I don't like playing games solo. Sometimes I do. Sometimes, like, you gotta change things up. I mean, I've been playing World of Warcraft and Icarus and 7 Days to DayZ, rather, not 7 Days to Die, DayZ, a lot as of late, with a lot of other people. Diablo as well. And, you know, it's good to be able to stop and go and play a single player game. Like, I play Minecraft or The Long Dark or Sea of Thieves this morning, Siege, something to that effect that, you know, gives me a better appreciation for whenever I'm not playing alone. But having YouTube on and having the stream rolling whilst playing whatever game it is that I might be playing is a good way to feel like or to not feel like I'm, you know, talking to 4 beige walls around me, even though I might be. At least it feels like I'm not. So that is going to continue to be the role that it serves in my life. A lot of people out here on the job site today. Lots of people to stir up all the mud that's on the ground. There's rained quite a bit around here last week. A bit of storms that rolled through. Like yesterday. It was clear skies all day yesterday until me and my family went to go watch Oppenheimer at the theater. And as soon as we got on the road good to go to the theater, the bottom fell out. Lightning. I mean, you had to jump between lightning bolts trying to get from the parking lot into the theater. It was ridiculous how hard it rained, making driving even more annoying than it was. And now the fruits of that Sky's labor is that now the entire job site is just one big milkshake. It's whenever we get out here onto a construction site, The slab for the building might be poured, but the pavement for the parking lot and the road around the building, the driveways and all that, are not paved. And so they just become a disaster area. All this Georgia red clay and the whatever mud might have been turned up when they were doing the site prep for the slab, it just becomes so frothy. It'll get all up in your wheel well and get all up on your handrail, or not your handrail, your foot rail step. All up on your mirror and on the brush guard. It's very, very messy. Not a fan of it. But tonight, hopefully, if I can get home at a reasonable time and not feel like I've been run through the ringer and able to actually stay awake for a decent amount of time, I would like to get back into Sea of Thieves like I did this morning. It was fun. But I've only ever played Sea of Thieves one way, and that is to try to duck PvP and gain money as quickly as I can. Which, I mean, whenever I first started playing Sea of Thieves, I didn't even know that it was a PvP locked game. I thought it was kind of like Warcraft, in that, or Fallout 76, in that you could opt into PvP if you wanted to do it. I wasn't aware that you were just, that was the game, was PvP. But once I learned it's basically Tarkov with boats, at least that's how I view it. That may be stupid to some people, but I see it as Tarkov with boats. Once I realized that, I was like, oh, okay, so there's a little bit of stakes to it, a bit of a sneak around and try and loot things game. Well, I've snuck around and looted things, and I realize I haven't done any of the tall tales, any of the voyages or expeditions or whatever. I've run, the little piddling maps that you'll find at the map board. I've done a little bit of emissary stuff for the gold hoarders, and I've gone and done the fortress thing like I did this morning many times now. But I really have not actually chased PvP. And so we talked to Frank earlier today, Tactical Thinker on Kick, and gosh, I've got something in my eye that just won't go. Anyways, it's going to be something I try to get into this evening. Something else that I'd thought about doing, and this is just full disclosure kind of about my state of mind, is that I watch a lot of YouTube. That's if I'm not at home and actually watching it on my second monitor while I'm playing a game on my first monitor, or doing the laundry and cooking and dishes and stuff such as that in the kitchen while having something on YouTube playing, I always have it on in the background somewhere. At work, I've got it in my Bluetooth earpiece, screen off, in my pocket, listening to something, whether it's the Star Talk podcast by Neil deGrasse Tyson, or Distractable, which used to be on YouTube and now it's exclusively on podcasting websites like Spotify or Google Podcasts, which is where I listen to it. I've always got somebody talking in my ear because I just kind of have, I want to say, but I guess I'm just idiosyncratic with people talking. I don't like silence. I don't like being alone. I've referenced that in several videos. My Discord server, the Stratosphere Directive, is the first text channel on my Discord server, and anybody that enters the Discord server, I've got 300 some odd people on my Discord server. Anybody that enters that Discord, that is right there at the top of the list. A text channel explaining my state of mind, my mentality, the way that I view life, is that I am terrified of being alone. It is not something I can handle for any period of time. And so if there is nobody online, and if there is nobody in Discord, if my family is inaccessible, or if I've already spoken to them recently and it would just be inconvenient for them, for me to call them back, then I'll just have a YouTube video playing. And, I've gone through many different channels, many different videos, trying to keep the air noisy and there's oftentimes whenever I go to bed, basically every time I go to bed, I'll have a YouTube video playing as I'm falling asleep. And I'll have a whole playlist that'll be set up, like the queue, which I don't think anybody actually uses, but I'll have a queue created where it'll play one video after another. I'll have it on autoplay, I'll have it on loop, whatever it takes to just keep that going, because if the noise stops while I'm asleep, then I'll wake up immediately. And it's just because it's just like the pressure in the room changes, the air pressure. Like if there's some audio from somebody talking, everything's normal, and then it just goes dead silent. It's like the air just it becomes 2 or 3 atmospheres heavier. My ears almost pop. So that is how that's been going for years now. And the channels that I usually listen to are ones like Markiplier, Lord Minion 777. What's the one? The dude that plays New World. Damone. That's his name. Damone Kim. I like listening to him. Cotton. There's been a variety of different channels that I've listened to. Just listen to their audio, trying to avoid videos where they may, start yelling uproariously, or they'll have some sort of game that's loud or something to that effect, like Five Nights at Freddy's, something that would actually, seriously wake me up. I'll try to avoid those types of videos, but just ones where people are talking a good bit. Star Talk, I've already referenced that. I had sand in my mouth. There's so much mud out here and sand and dirt. Oh my goodness. Can't wait for them to pay for this stuff. Just having a playlist of things that I can listen to while I'm trying to sleep has been quite beneficial, and sometimes I feel like it's hard to find a video where it just matches the style that I need. Where people are talking continuously. Don't have to be talking about anything specific, but just continuously with no dead air, no silence, and no all of a sudden getting loud or all of a sudden getting quiet. Not monotonous, but steady, stable, where I'm able to sleep listening to it. And I feel like that's why a lot of people watch long streams. There's recordings of Mark, Bob, and Wade streams that people have uploaded where they're sitting there for 7 hours unedited playing things like Raft or Phasmophobia. And they've got a boatload of views. And I don't see why, how do you sit there and watch an entire 7-hour stream, hell, a 3-hour stream of anything more than once, unless you've just got it alt-tabbed in the background or playing whenever you're sleeping. And so that was something I wanted to start doing. Rather than just streaming or just making shorts, if I wanted to actually upload longer videos, I would do it. I would upload a video that I would want to listen to. The style of video that I would actually find value in. Wherein there's just a bunch of talking. It could be random crap. Yeah. Unabridged history of mud, for God's sake. It doesn't matter. The point is that it's continuous speech and at a predictable volume and pretty steady or stable energy to it. Just an idea that I was tossing around. Not something that I would upload for the sake of views, but hell, just to listen to it myself. Just to make things easier. And if somebody else who has the same issues that I have would find any value in it, it would just be icing on the cake. Who was you talking to? Myself. I talk to myself a lot. I learn a lot of neat stuff that way. Now I'm just sitting here on lunch. I've got about 15 minutes left before I have to go back to work, and wanted to kind of spend the time without sitting here in the silence with nothing to talk to but the mud. Decided to talk to a camera instead. There is a lot. I mean, I'm not underselling the amount of mud that's out here. I can't drive forward right now. If I were to drive 20 feet forward, I would hydroplane. There's so much mud out here. It rained so hard this weekend. I didn't even look in the rain gauge to see how much rain we got, but it is just a cataclysmic typhoon that came through here. I mean, most of it, of course, had to fall whenever we went to the theater. I don't know why I was thinking Backstop. We went to the Backstop yesterday and watched Oppenheimer. We went to the theater yesterday and watched Oppenheimer, and it was just a deluge that came down. Absolutely ridiculous. Can I do that too, or is it copyrighted? Is what copyrighted me? My face? My illustrious smile? I mean, I think the video is self-therapy. I don't think self-therapy is copyrighted, but I'm not a copyrighted either. But yeah, just being able to talk to someone besides that brick wall has been beneficial lately. I made an entire playlist called Vent, where I would just sit there and blabber off whatever it was that was bothering me that day, whether it was, aliens or driving or any sort of malady that I may be suffering through that day. I made a whole playlist of videos that I would just upload. The Vent playlist. Was that guy just in frame? I hope I'm not that close to that wall. That poor man doesn't know that there's a stream going on right now. I copyrighted it too. No, that's mine. I'm gonna report your video. You see, that's not quite how that works. Number one, I don't have any revenue off of this. Number two, this isn't under Creative Commons, so technically any kind of copyright does belong to the original channel holder. And this is a live stream, which is happening live right now, which means that there is no way that you can claim it, considering that you are not me and I am me. See there? Yeah. Also, my channel is not monetized, so there's no way to make any revenue. I believe I already said that, but besides the point. Anyways. Yeah, I just wanted to sit here and spend the last little bit of lunch. 500th video. Coming in going out as I came in. Blech. Got a whole bunch of streams under my belt. Do you speak to your boss? Let me tell you something, Sonny. The personality that I display for this camera was forged on this job. Yeah, my coworkers may not exactly like me too much. They may think I'm goofy. They may think I'm strange. They think I'm a bit of a character. But I've got them right where they want me. I meant that. I said what I said, and I meant what I meant. Oh, man. There really aren't very many coworkers on this job. There's two guys, and then there's the superintendent, and that's it. I mean, this is a shell warehouse. There really isn't anything to do. I honestly have no idea what your main venting subject is. I'm an electrician. I'm a construction electrician. This gray wall that's to my left is the wall of a warehouse. We're building it's a pretty small warehouse, 850,000 square feet, right here in Savannah, Georgia. And we've slapped up God knows how many of these warehouses over the past couple of years. This place is just warehouse central. Industrial parks, you couldn't throw a rock without bouncing it off the head of a guy who's deciding to build himself a warehouse. A lot of the videos that I have made have been either on a job site or on the topic of a job site. My biggest uploaded video in terms of viewership has been the construction site culture sucks so much video, which I think is sitting at 35K views right now, which of course in the grand scheme of things is not much, but there's a lot of people that apparently agree with that. I mean, heck, the like to dislike ratio on that video is 96%. A lot of the stuff that I've done has been on either construction or been on random things that I may think about throughout the day. Like, for example, my first vent video, besides the one that's just called Vent, was I Hate Driving, wherein I detailed the many reasons that I absolutely despise getting behind this illustrious wheel and guiding this 2-ton kinetic missile down the road at high speeds, hoping that everybody else on the road is as competent, if not more competent than I am at not colliding with oncoming missiles. I mean, there's just a playlist of that on the channel. There's also a playlist of all the different shorts that I've done, where the vast majority of the shorts are me in high visibility clothing, because I record most of them on lunch break on the job. But I mean, I have done one video where I talked about construction site culture and how it's not exactly nice, but I've also done several videos on how it's also not that bad of a job. Realistically, I mean, if I had to just sit here and say that there's a job that you should get into knowing absolutely nothing about somebody, knowing nothing about somebody's situation, what their, education background is, what their family situation is, what their income or, any of that sort of situation is, I would tell anyone to try their hand at construction. Just because it's a good, stable way to make money. If you can get any kind of certification, whether it's an electrical license like what I've got, or plumbing certification, welding, ironwork, sheetrock, concrete, framing, roofing, any of that sort of thing, it's just a meal ticket for life, because there's always somebody who wants something built. Electrician, I feel like, is a little bit more stable and a little bit more lucrative than most, just because there's always somebody that wants something wired. And the job that we do is very dangerous compared to the other trades. Like, what's the worst that can happen if you're a plumber? You might get a little poop on you. For framing a wall, what's the worst that can happen? You might inhale a bit of sheetrock dust, which is really bad and can cause silicosis, but just wear a mask. Electricians, I mean, we can get turned into a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken in a hurry if we don't know what we're doing. And if we're not being extra careful with what we're doing. Like, you can know everything, but if you do not, implement the proper safety precautions and follow the code, be aware of what's going on around you and what might be happening at the other end of this wire that you're working on, you can be a statistic in a hurry. It's important to be able to keep that sort of thing in the forefront of your mind, and because of the risks associated with being an electrician, I feel like I mean, maybe it's just my bias of being an electrician. It's a perfectly reasonable thing that we're more special and important than the people who work on air conditioners or install toilets and any of that sort of thing. I don't know. I have a right to be proud. I'm me, after all. You know how that be. Let's see. I saw that you said something, and it scrolled by faster than I could actually read it. From my experience, venting provides only temporary relief, unless you think the listener can provide constructive advice. Other than that, it might actually just keep the pain hanging around. Well, I will say one thing. I am not in pain. I'll sit here and... usually what happens whenever I vent, whenever I will sit here and complain for 30 minutes, because the stream is approaching 30 minutes long, and I am approaching the end of my lunch break here in about 8 minutes, is I'll go through the entire thought process of a problem that I have gone through, worked through, and solved. I mean, let's look back and what if exactly have I vented upon? There's been, obviously, driving. I hate driving. I've had, at this point, 3 accidents now, none of which were my fault. The first one was because somebody ran a red light and hit me, took that truck from me. Second one was because somebody was pulling out blind across 3 lanes of traffic. I hit him, took that truck from me. Third accident was because a deer pulled out blind. Deer wasn't insured either. That made me really mad. Took that truck from me. So here I am in my 4th truck, having been the victim of 3 perils on the road, and not even counting the family members that I've lost to accidents on the road. it's something I've vented about before. It's slightly more goofy things like aliens. I've talked about my opinion on aliens before, and the conclusion of it was that I don't care if aliens exist. I really don't. There could be whoever UFOs or whatever flying around up there. I don't care. I don't care if they're there or not. Until an alien shows up at my doorstep trying to sell me a Hoover vacuum cleaner, I don't care that they exist or not. And if they do show up with a vacuum cleaner trying to sell it to me, I'll try and get a good deal from it. While also, wearing a face mask or whatever to ensure that the Andromeda strain or whatever it is they may be carrying doesn't transmit to me. Artificial intelligence. I don't think that artificial intelligence is going to kill us of its own volition, because you can't program motivation, you can't program instinct, desire. That's something that has to be put there by humans. So, artificial intelligence, I don't take it seriously as an actual threat in and of itself. Like the Terminator situation. Those are things that I've vented upon. Things that I am opinionated on and have already kind of solved in my mind, and just to try to, I don't want to say spread my ideology, but to express that I am a thinking man, besides, just the incredible amount of streams that I have done on this channel already. 500 videos. Good God. I don't even know what I did in half of them. I played so much Arma 3, I played so much DayZ, played a lot of video games over the years, spent so much time in them. And I've got so many videos on my channel that are unlisted, actually, believe it or not. They're like, it may say 500 videos. I might have 100 unlisted videos. Videos that I wasn't pleased with how they turned out, or I just felt like didn't fit for some reason, or I felt like nothing happened of value. And they're still sitting there, ready to be turned loose. I've actually recently unlisted one of them, made it public. I think it was the second video I ever made and uploaded. Way back in the day, whenever it was Rainbow Six Siege. I was playing Rainbow. Didn't have a webcam. I had a crappy mic that could barely be audible. I was sniffing a lot because I was sick. But I was playing Blackbeard on the old favela map. And I watched that video here recently. Where the only operators available were up to Capitao and Kavera, and just watching that from years and years ago, winning the MVP charm because I completed a Ubisoft Club achievement for the week, one of their little weekly missions to, get the MVP position in a match. And man, I was so happy with myself. I was so proud. It was not even that good of a match, and I really didn't contribute that well. I just, played a game, had enough points to get MVP. I was so proud of myself. I uploaded that son of a gun. Second video, I think to date it's only had 30 views, but I recently made it back public after it sat unlisted for years and years and years. And I might do that with other videos that I've got on this channel that are unlisted. Might start revealing them as it may see fit. But gotta go work with. Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you for showing up. I did not even see you in the chat previously. Were you here? Did I miss something that you had said previously? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming by, Cake. I hadn't seen you in a while, man. Where you been? How you been? Good gracious. Just seen and joined. It has been a long time since I've seen you around, buddy. Thank you for stopping back by. But yeah, with about 3 minutes left of lunch break, I do need to go ahead and go. Working 0 days off, had no call, no show for one. You have had 0 days off for how long? Good Lord. I've done my stint with that. Whenever we were building the liquid natural gas plant on Elba Island for those couple years, there was a 6-month stint where I worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I've talked about that job site before. I think I did that on Kick, though, because there was a Kick stream where I went through all of the job sites that I've been on and all the pictures that I had for all the job sites and all the different things that I've done over the years, and Elbow was one of them. No, it wasn't. I don't think I showed the Elbow pictures. Regardless, I talked about it and how we were working out there in 130 degree heat, and it was only 130 degrees because I was wearing a full-body flame-retardant suit that had zero breathability and had Have to flee now. All right, James, thank you for coming by, buddy. Good gracious. 48 days now, and I have 0 schedule, and everyone else has 2 week. Good gracious. Well, yeah, you're right. That has been making out for some great checks. My goodness, the pay must be fantastic. But like I say, working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for me those were some big checks, but I was lucky to be able to live to spend them. Because it was hot. I mean, I carried an infrared thermometer. The reason I said it was 130 degrees is because I took up an infrared thermometer because we were in a boom lift above the main compressor for like the whole gas line. And it had this big metal roof over it to keep it from getting a whole bunch of rain and hail and whatnot on it. And we went up in that boom lift, and I shined this infrared thermometer at that metal roof, which we were working about 12 inches below, hanging conduit for the lights, and it said 136 degrees. No breeze, right next to the river, so of course it's extremely humid. And I'm having, because it's a class 2, it's a class location, it's a hazardous location, I'm having to wear a full body flame retardant suit. So that if, the entire island caught on fire, then at least my head would be nice and charbroiled, while the rest of me would be slightly steamed. And then that on top of having to work 12 hours a day with no breaks for 6 months with no time off. The only reason I did not quit, and I felt like quitting over and over again, there were people dropping to heat exhaustion. It was a common occurrence out there. People would need to be dragged into the shade. The only reason I didn't quit is because I thought it could not possibly get any worse. As soon as I get off this job, if I just stick it out here, next job that I get on is going to be fantastic. And I was 100% correct about that. My little sparkly 22, 23-year-old brain, I was 100% accurate about that one thing, in that this was the worst I'd ever been on. I had experienced a low point that set the bar for all other low points. No matter what has happened, no matter how bad the jobs have been since I was on Elba Island, no matter how cataclysmic this job has been to my physical or mental health since then, nothing's as bad as that job. And I can go out onto a job site that is, 6 months behind. Everybody's running around freaking out. It's absolutely horrible. Oh my goodness, this job is just not making us any money. And the general contractor hates it. It's not as bad as it could be. And it's given me such peace now that I have a barometer for how bad things can get, a baseline for misery. Every job that I go onto now, whether it's doing fantastic or whether it is doing our company in, it's easy going. I'll come here, I'll make my money, I'll keep my head down, and I'll keep on trying. Also, apparently the cops are in a kerfuffle about something. I don't know if you heard those sirens. Let me see here. What is this message? This long message. Demon from Oblivion says, hello there, Mr. Rain. What's your thought on Elon Musk in the ring with Mark Zuckerberg? And why am I not able to keep that message on the screen? And who do you think will win? Also, if they shake hands at the end, do you think will them both going to Mars? Okay, I don't know anything about Elon Musk fighting Mark Zuckerberg. I've seen memes of it on Reddit quite a bit. It's something that I'm not completely in the dark about. I know that they were talking about doing it, and I think, what was it, Elon Musk's mother wanted him to fight? Is that what it was? Like the background lore of this whole shenanigans. I don't know anything about it. I haven't been following it. I have no skin in the game. I don't care about either man. And if they do fight, marvelous. I was more interested in Creator Clash than I was with that, specifically because of Ethan Nestor fighting, and I wanted to see that. I didn't watch that live, and I didn't even watch the recording of it until like 6 months after it happened. With this one, I probably never watch it. I mean, unless it's imminently available and it's like the first thing that pops up in my YouTube recommended one day to remind me that it's going to happen. I probably won't watch it simply because I don't care. It's not. I've never particularly admired, respected, or hated either man. I know Elon Musk is, he's done his shenanigans with Amazon and Twitter and all that, and it's, two big corporations, and nobody likes those. And Mark Zuckerberg has done his thing with Facebook, which is a large social corporation, is accused of censorship and that sort of thing, and nobody likes that. They're just two dudes that I'm uninvolved with because I don't use their platforms. I don't use Twitter. I use Amazon a little bit. I mean, heck, I've had quite a few things delivered to the house through the Amazon shipping service. And Facebook, I've got a Facebook page just to keep somebody else from taking my name. That's all I've got that for, is just to reserve it. I don't even think I have any pictures on it. So, yeah, you know, as far as my investment in either one of those men is concerned, not really that invested. It's whatever. Now, if it turns out to be a goofy fight, you know, people say, oh my goodness, this was the funniest thing I've ever seen. These two clowns were so zany up there swinging their little fists. Then sure, I might watch it, you know. That's why I got into slap fighting, was because I was watching, it was a Penguin Z0. Is it Penguin Z0, Penguin ZO? I don't remember how he pronounced it. Charles White was showing some videos of slap fighting, and that got me into that. Not just because the sport itself is goofy, but because his commentation of it is just delightful. I don't think that man could say a word that would not be entertaining in some way. I digress. Anyways, it is time for me to go back to work. It is 12:34. I am 5 minutes late getting back out there on the job site so that I can continue to make up wires and wait for 5 o'clock so that we can head on home. But anyways, I will be on Sea of Thieves tonight, hopefully, if I can stay awake long enough to not fall in the first bed I see, whether or not it's my own. And make video number 501. And as I said at the beginning of the stream, I thank you for 500 videos since May 9th of 2016. I've uploaded a bunch of crap, and I've streamed a bunch of crap, and I've most recently started uploading a bunch of 60-second short crap. But whether or not you've stuck with me for 7 minutes or for the past 7 years, I thank you for being around. Thank you for spending time with me. Because at the end of the day, there's only two things I want out of life. It's to be able to get to the end of the day and see the beginning of the next one, and to not have to do it alone. Because being alone fucking sucks. I hate it with every fiber of my being. And every moment that I spend with someone else is a moment well spent. As long as they don't, you know, absolutely hate me and are trying to kill me. Real quick, do you believe Mark is secretly a reptilian and Elon is a Terminator, and do you play Skyrim? I do not play Skyrim. I have never played Skyrim. Honestly, I've never even seen any Skyrim gameplay. I've heard a lot of good things about the game, and I would like to be able to give it a shot at some point. And I've been, you know, playing genre breakers lately. Like, I always used to play Rainbow Six Siege, first-person shooters. Payday the Heist was actually my first Steam game, so I've kind of grew into the first-person genre. And then, you know, I branched out with games like World of Warcraft, The Long Dark. There's been a couple genre breakers. Sea of Thieves was actually a departure from the norm for me. So I've played a lot of departures. I've recently been requested to play The Division 2 by a guy who's asked me a couple times about whether or not I played any of the Division games. So there's different games that I might piddle with, you know, depending on whether or not it looks like something that I would actually enjoy for more than 5 minutes. The Long Dark was kind of a situation where I tried it, but it really wasn't something that kept my interest for very long. But yeah, I'm willing to branch out. I'm not stuck in one way of doing one thing. The one line that I draw is tower defense games. I'll probably never play those. If I'm being totally honest with you. I've never seen a tower defense game that looked fun at all. Maybe I've never seen a good tower defense game. I don't know. But I gotta go. Y'all have a delightful day. See, Demon from Oblivion, thank you for stopping by. Cake, thank you so much. I haven't seen you in quite a while. Good to see you again, buddy. James May, thank you for stopping by as well. The two people who like the stream, thank you so much for that. Thank you for 500 videos. And I'll see y'all later on this evening.